We're in Miller Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as this NL Central road trip continues. The Cubs are 2-3 through the first 5. It will end tomorrow as they look for their second straight win over the Brewers. And welcome to Cubs baseball here on CSN. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. The Cubs were able to hang on for dear life in the ninth in a 7-6 win last night. And good to see the bats come alive. 4 home runs, a season high.
Yeah, the Cubs finished second in the National League in home runs last year. We expect them to be very high in that category again this year. But they kind of been just limping along in the power department of late. But last night they broke out the big bats in a big way. And it started with the very first batter of the game, Dexter Fowler.
Anthony Rizzo has been hot. 3 home runs so far on this road trip. He continues to swing a hot bat, and it's really good to see Jorge Soler.
Yeah, and especially to see Jorge Soler hit the ball in this direction. He's so strong he can go deep in any ballpark in any direction. This one pretty much straight away, a towering blast. All 4 of the Cubs home runs measuring 400-plus feet. Starlin Castro with the capper off Brandon Kitzler late in the ball game. That's his first extra base hit in a good long while.
So tonight, as I mentioned, they'll go for 2 in a row in a series victory here in Milwaukee. Travis Wood, I think, probably thought a lot about that last start and wonders, why didn't I hold that big lead early?
Yeah, had a 5-run lead in the first inning, and then Mark Reynolds hit a grand slam off him to tighten things up. Ultimately, the Cardinals came back and won that game. So he's looking for a bounce back here, and you look at his numbers against the Brewers, 4-4 with a 4.55 earned run average, but he has really struggled in this ballpark. Speaking of struggling, Kyle Loesch with an ERA above 7 as we start this ball game tonight.
So Wood for the Cubs, Loesch for the Brewers, and the left-hander, an all-star 2 seasons ago, struggled last year, but trying to regain his form from 2013. Game 2 of this set is next.
is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
We are indoors tonight. It has cooled off considerably over the last 24 hours, so roof closed, panels closed, and a nice crowd gathering as the Cubs try to win a series this weekend after dropping 2 of 3 last weekend at Wrigley Field. The only series victory to date for the Brewers, and that ended up being the final series managed by Ron Renneke before he was fired Sunday night. So Travis Wood getting set for his start. Kyle Lohse off to a very slow beginning, as JD mentioned earlier. And let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Dexter Fowler with that leadoff home run, and his second of the season overall. Chris Bryant at third had a big play in the 9th inning. More on that later. Rizzo at 3:30. Miguel Montero cleaning up. It's Jorge Soler in right. Starlin Castro the shortstop. Chris Coghlan plays left. Big outfield assist for him in the 1st inning. Travis Wood, the pitcher, bats 8th, and the rookie Addison Russell with an 11-game hitting streak bats 9th.
And we look at the Brewers defensively this evening. Chris Davis is in left. Carlos Gomez still bothered by a hip issue, so he's on the bench tonight. Gerardo Parra plays center. He's won a couple Gold Gloves. Ryan Braun is in right infield of Herrera, as Ramos Ramirez is still a little nicked up. He's got a back issue. Segura, Gomez, and Lynn round out the infield. Martin Maldonado will do the catching tonight for Milwaukee, and the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Brewers is Kyle Lohse, a veteran, 36 years of age. And yeah, he's off to a rugged start. 6 starts, 1-4 with a 7.01 ERA. That's the 2nd highest earned run average among all qualifiers in Major League Baseball.
Set the umpires for you tonight. Tom Hallion, the crew chief. I seem to recall he's got a fun strike 3 call.
He does, yeah.
Twist.
Yep.
Alfonso Marquez at first, Dan Bellino at second. Bruce Dreckman is over at third. And if tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, and last night Fowler hit a home run, Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois.
Lohse was the opening day starter for the Brewers and did not start well for him. He gave up 8 earned runs and 3 1/3 against the Colorado Rockies. Struggled. Last time a little better. 5 innings, 3 runs allowed to the Dodgers and a no decision.
Here we go, and a strike on a fastball at 89 to Fowler. We did a game right here on CSN on April 1st from Mesa. It was Kyle Lohse's final tune-up in spring training, and he was really bad. But we kind of chalked it up to, well, he's a veteran, doesn't matter. Gave up 7 runs, 4 walks, 3 homers in 4 innings. Unfortunately for him, it didn't get a whole lot better after that.
Well, long ball has been an issue. He's allowed 9 home runs in 34 2/3 innings. It's the 3rd most home runs allowed. Likes to sink his fastball. Maybe he's just not sinking. When at his best, a very good major league pitcher. A 4-pitch mix: fastball, curveball, slider, and change. You throw those secondary pitches when behind in the count.
2-2 slider, called strike 3, and there is that Tom Hallion strike 3 call. Didn't think we'd see it this early.
Yeah. Big strikeout night. He's going to need a chiropractor by the end of the evening. Check it out from Tom Hallion. He missed the call too. It was an emphatic call, 3rd strike, but the pitch was off the outside corner. Backdoor breaking ball. Club hitters, or the Brewer hitters for that matter, too, hope that that doesn't become the norm here tonight.
And a Frank Drebin strike 3 call.
wait for him to moonwalk. Looked like he got stung by a bee.
Chris Bryant 1 for 5 last night, but an RBI infield single is only hit in the 9th inning. He was originally called out. They reviewed it, and then he was ruled safe and out at first. And we've got another close play here in the very first inning.
He's lingering. I don't see any indication from the Cubs dugout that they're contemplating a challenge here. It was a relatively routine ground ball to short last night that he turned into a base hit.
So the Cubs will not challenge. His either got him or it was too close to call. And this early, Joe deciding not to challenge it. But yeah, he said that hustle last night. It was kind of a free ad for Respect 90. You're looking for a 30-second commercial for what Joe Madden is espousing. That base hit, and it loomed large, didn't it?
Yeah,
7-6 the final.
I think that's the point Joe was making more than anything, that in a game that you felt like you had one that, pretty comfortable. The guy still sells out going down the line. You get a run out of it, and run you sorely ended up needing. You never know which one is going to beat you and which one is going to provide the winning margin.
1-1.
27 outs.
Changeup. The play last night. Great stretch at the end to get to the front part of the bag. And again, they reviewed it and called him safe. Tomahawk to left. Chris Davis makes a catch, and Loesch with a 1-2-3 opening frame. Here comes the lefty, Travis Wood, when we return. Manager Craig Counsell, brought to you by Southwest. Gene Segura, the shortstop, will lead it off. Hector Gomez at second for Jeanette tonight against the lefty. Braun homered last night late. Adam Lind off to a great start in his first year with the Brewers. Chris Davis, best game he's had this year, came last night. Parra once again for Gomez in center. Maldonado the catcher. Elian Herrera spells Aramis Ramirez. And Loesch the pitcher batting ninth.
Cubs defensively. There's Coughlin in left, Fowler center, Soler right, Bryant, Castro, Russell, Rizzo. Around the horn, Montero's the catcher, and the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight is Travis Wood. He's made 5 starts. He's 2-1 with a 440 earned run average. Pretty much had his way with left-handed hitters. Overall, the numbers good this year so far.
5'11", 175 from Bryant, Arkansas, 28 years old, and 1-0. And Gene Segura, who, like Wood, was an all-star 2013. like these alternate gold pops.
Kind of banana yellow.
Baby food yellow.
Wouldn't want to see a whole lot of them. Remind me of we used to get those candies when we were kids. BB bats were they called? They were like kind of a taffy kind of.
I don't recall
chewy
that.
Candy then?
Maybe before my time. No play for Rizzo.
It's Travis Wood at his best right there. Cut fastball in on the hands of a right-handed hitter, getting weak contact. He has not been at his best, as I mentioned in the open, in this ballpark. Lifetime 1-3 here with a 7.52 earned run average.
It's great to see members of the military at the ballpark. We've got some good seats, well deserved. Russell will glove. Hector Gomez pitch ran in the 9th inning last night. Monday against the Dodgers, he became the second player to hit his first career homer off Clayton Kershaw. The first was former Cub and current member of the front office, Darnell McDonald, back in 2009 with Cincinnati. Run and foul.
Gomez came into the season with just 26 major league at bats under his belt. He's got some tools, big guy with some speed, decent power numbers as a minor leaguer.
Curveball is high, 1-1. Jason Hamill, 6-0 in his career now against the Brewers. After his win last night, 7 innings, 2 runs. A little hairy in the 9th. Hector Rondon got 3 outs before the Brewers could tie it. And we'll see what the bullpen looks like late tonight. Pedro Strop, not quite right. He's been busy here early on. And hopefully he can get it together. I have a hard time believing, JD, we would see Rondon tonight. Strike 3 call.
Yeah, the way he labored last night, and a lot of pitches under duress. The whole bullpen's really been out of sorts of late. And this time we get to watch Tom Hallion punch out a Brewer. Get him, Tom.
Well, Braun, he's homered 5 times over the last 10 games. Including in the 9th inning last night off Rondon, that created a 1-run affair.
The final 2 at bats went double home run on 2 pitches, first pitch swinging each time. It's kind of fun here. The spirited crowd, a lot of Cub fans here trying to boo Braun, and the Brewer fans trying to shout him down.
Snuck it into the corner and right. Yeah, BB bats right on it. Banana flavored something. Thanks to @CubWin for tweeting that.
Dennis probably wouldn't recommend those.
Full 3-2. Lind, first baseman, is on deck.
Travis's fastball typically sits around 89 miles an hour. That one was 91 down in the zone. He's got quick arm action, so his fastball's sneaky. A little bit quicker than you anticipate. Try a cutter here, it looks like.
Chop to the shortstop. Castro ranging to his left. And a 1-2-3 for Travis Wood as well after an inning. Scoreless. Your money. Watch the most exciting sports trivia show on TV where fans test their knowledge and try to win big starting at 7 on CSN Chicago. You can see a lot of Chicago fans here in Milwaukee. Nothing. Montero, Soler, and Castro here in the second.
Both pitchers in this game tonight like to work quickly. Good athletes. Swing the bats a little bit. Feel their position.
We've told the story of Kyle Loesch many times. He was originally drafted by the Cubs, 29th round, 1996. He would eventually get traded to Minnesota with Jason Ryan for Rick Aguilera and Scott Downs. That was in May of 1999. And a liner into right for the first hit of the ball game.
Montero's been on a pretty nice roll lately. Sat back nicely on that curveball. And 43 major league wins against 132 losses. Debuted for the Twins in 01.
This is career start number 401. Ball one on Soler. Yeah, 2011 to 2014, collective 54-30 with the Cardinals and Brewers with a 3.28. At least 30 starts each of those seasons. He's going into this year, but about a fifth of his season in the books, and it's been a major struggle. Cut and miss to make it 2-1. Soler's homer last night, his first since April 13th against the Reds when he hit his first two of the season.
Jimmy Nelson really was quite good last night. He struck out 11 in 7 innings, and he only allowed 5 hits, but 3 of them left the ballpark, and Soler jumped all over that low fastball.
Sometimes it's hyperbole when a manager says something like this, but Craig Counsell said Jimmy Nelson had no hit stuff last night. But every mistake he made left the ballpark, and it's hard to disagree. Kept striking out people, but 3 home runs allowed in his 7 innings. Three and 2.
That's what I was talking about with that scouting report on Loesch. Any pitch in any count, and of course you see that more and more. I don't know that there's any such thing as a fastball, true fastball count in baseball anymore, except perhaps 3-0.
Working from the far first base side of the rubber as that one is powered out to deep left, but it's going to be caught by Davis. It'll send Montero back to first.
Oh, pretty good swing by Soler at that breaking ball. A little too much top spin, but he didn't miss it by much.
Here comes Castro, his first homer last night since April 21st in Pittsburgh.
Cubs have seen a lot of Loesch over the years. Castro's had 38 at bats against him. He's 9 out of 38, a .237 average. Rizzo's the guy to keep an eye on. He's got big numbers against him.
Okay, regroup. 0-2.
Sneak attack. Loesch thought he had Castro looking breaking ball, so he tried to slip a fastball over the outside corner. Tried to do a little Picasso number there. Awfully close.
Even at 2 apiece. Chris Coghlan on deck. Just getting started, top of the second. Cubs at 15-13. Milwaukee 9-21. First record in baseball. Moving to center, and Parra will make the catch. Boy, he misjudged it at first. He came in, but then went back to get it. Didn't panic.
Well, running a little out route here, but a good swing of the bat by Castro. Nice to see him drive the ball in that direction.
Coghlan hitless last night, but he did make a play in the bottom of the first inning. Threw out Adam Lind at the plate. Here's the 0-1. Montero started the inning with a single to right. He's still at first with 2 outs. to the left, out of play. Back home Monday night. Be a fun homestand against the Mets and the Pirates. 4 versus New York, and then 3 against the Pirates, team we just saw recently at Wrigley Field.
Wait in.
Wait a minute.
Wow. How about that?
Did Dreckman say he didn't?
I thought he did. I don't know that maybe Hallian didn't ask. Yeah. And then the catcher asked. Hallian was probably already making the call.
Yep.
No,
So,
he's pointing. He had the swing.
That's a strikeout. Play umpire wins on that one.
I love directly trying to cover it quickly. Nope, nothing here.
Nothing, and Adam Lind will lead it off against Travis Wood. There's the Coghlan strikeout pitch.
Tom Hallian behind home plate, and Bruce Dreckman is the third base umpire.
Get it synced up here. There we go. And Hallian, he never looked at third.
First brings his hands together.
I didn't say, but Bruce said it wasn't a strike.
Like the kid in class is always raising his hand, and then he realized, oh, I don't know the answer. I better put it down.
So the sun came out through the panels, first base side. So Coghlan had to get his shades. He's probably thinking, please don't hit it to me.
And that's the only area of the field that's got any sunlight.
One and one to count. Coghlan's telling Fowler, I'm going to need some help. Yep. In fact, he just kind of gave the sign like, I can't see anything right now, so make sure anything to the gap, you give me some help.
The left field is the trouble field in this ballpark, with the sunlight coming through the panels down the right field line.
So let me ask you a question. Would it be worth moving in 6 or 7 feet just so you can see? As Russell will get him. In other words, if you can't see where you're standing, even if that's where you're supposed to stand, would it be, in this rare case, literally moving to a place where you can't? Yeah. And cheating. That's good teammate Travis Wood getting Lynn to pull that ball.
Look around the field, see who's having a hard time seeing, and pitch accordingly. I don't know if there's a spot out there that he can move to and still not have issues, though. I mean, even when he's out of the light, but he's looking up towards this panel up here, to our right.
Davis really was scuffling going into the last night. But he went 4 for 5, a homer, a double, 3 knocked in.
That's what Chris is dealing with.
Yeah, late afternoon, really a problem in the middle of the summer. And what you'll often see here is they'll have the roof partially closed even when it's open to try to balance out some of the shadows. And I know over the years we've had issues just with our center field camera look with the cross light coming through. Well, those guys are having fun right now. The 3-1 check swing foul.
That speaks to the quick arm action I talked about with Travis Wood, how he can be a little bit sneaky. There's a guy, Chris Davis, that likes to hit fastball. Standing in there against a left-handed pitcher who throws 89, 90 miles an hour. 3 balls, 1 strike, and he's behind that fastball.
Ground ball. Castro diving stop from a knee, and he airmails it out of play, and that will allow Davis to go to second. Great half a play. In the end, probably should have just
he's had a couple of those this year where the decision making hasn't been what you would like. But boy, nice play with the glove work. He's also pulled off a couple really good plays where he's left his feet to make a diving catch and been able to finish it off.
So that'll be a single and an out. First hit for the Brewers.
It's kind of like a pitcher. If you're going to miss low. Just kind of try to spike it. See if you can one-hop it over there to first base.
Yeah, our good friend Mark Gonzalez covers the Cubs for the Tribune. He just tweeted, got to take the sack there instead of the intentional grounding. It's a good call. There's Parra. 1 ball, no strikes. In the air to center. Fowler back on it. He looks up and it's gone. Onto the ledge of the batter's eye wall. Over the 400 marker, and Parra off the lefty. A 2-run blast. Wow. His first.
Parra, a guy who hits a lot of doubles. You don't really think of him as a guy who's going to go deep, dead central. Wow. Little man with a big swing. Fourth home run replay. Number 5 allowed by Travis Wood, and number 1 for Parra.
He would not have been in the lineup. Carlos Gomez weren't dealing with a hip issue. It's the lefty, forced to play tonight, and comes through with the 2-run homer. Line into left for Maldonado. It's 3 consecutive Brewer hits here with 1 out.
Normally when a pitcher is getting hit around a little bit, you say, well, he's got to get the ball down. That's not necessarily the case with Travis. You just got to stay out of the happy zone for him. A lot of times it's up, in on the hands of the hitter. A little down and away fastball always plays, but he does a lot of good work up in the zone. Really up out of the zone in the pitch I'm talking about is probably not in the strike zone. It's elevated in on the hands.
Herrera in for Ramirez. He was scratched before the game last night with some back issues. Out again tonight. Coughlin, by the way, has taken off the sunglasses. He's no longer standing in the sun and left. Herrera's a switch batter. And he takes that one low. 1-1. A little brisk near the lake today, wasn't it?
A little breezy. Yeah, the wind had a little bite in it.
Just can't tell you how huge this retractable roof is. I mean, it's literally large, but back to the old County Stadium days, and there were some very uncomfortable days and nights in that ballpark in the first 2 months of the season. No worries here.
First road trip I ever made in the major leagues was to Cleveland and Milwaukee. And I remember sitting out in the bullpen here in Milwaukee, and we had those big burn barrels. Fires going in them to stay warm.
I have a feeling that would be violating some sort of code.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be allowed
these
now.
days. Full count on Herrera. Maldonado not running. Ground ball to third. Should be 2, 5, 4. That's it. Herrera's hustle and speed keeping the inning alive.
After taking a review at the video, contemplating a challenge. Looks like they are not going to challenge.
I didn't notice. I was told Joe had his batting practice hat on when the game started. Quickly realized the sartorial faux pas. Now he's got the right cap. Lowe's fouls. We had Junior late last year. The different grade uni. It happens. Two strikes to Loesch. Yeah, good catch.
Manager should wear a different hat. He's the manager. Like we saw those sailors coming in. Clearly a guy in charge and a different hat on.
Oh, that is a happy camper. We want to welcome those viewers who just watched the Reds beat the White Sox 10-4 in the first of a doubleheader. And Casper, Jim Deshaies and our CSN crew in Milwaukee. Two-run homer, Gerardo Parra, earlier this inning. Only runs to date. The pitch on the ground to Castro to end the inning. 3 hits, 2 runs on the homer by Parra, and Milwaukee has the early advantage. Field. The Cubs return home this Monday night for the start of a 7-game homestand with the Mets and Pirates. Tickets are still available for every game. Get your seats now at Cubs.com. And nice representation by Cub fans here in Milwaukee. Wood, Russell, Fowler against Loesch, working with a 2-0 lead.
One of the advantages of being in and or following a team in the NL Central. It's not hard to get to most of these opponents that you see so often. Obviously, this is the closest. But Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, St. Louis. Not that arduous to get there.
We're also going to Cleveland, Detroit, and Minneapolis this summer. Wood off to a slow start for him at the plate. 2 out of 17. Many pitchers would take that. Not him.
Jason Hamill got another knock last night.
He continues to claim he's getting lucky, but I don't know. He looks like he's in a groove.
Hard to tell whether you're in a rut or a groove.
High in the air, Parra just onto the warning track.
Pretty good blow delivered there by Travis Wood. Just a little too much air under it. He seems to be carrying pretty well here again tonight. It's the look of a contented man. He's throwing the ball well. Picked up his 3rd win last night.
Is that really the best day for a starter? The day after you win?
Yeah, if you pitch well, you win. He's feeling good. So he just got that look. He got that, I'm feeling good about things. You know, if he got out there and gotten roughed up, he'd probably be sitting back on the bench somewhere out of view. I always say you could always tell. I don't even know if guys do it anymore. It used to be the pitcher's responsibility the day after. Some clubs did it the day before you started, but we always did it the day after. You had to shag, keep the bucket during BP out behind second base. You could usually tell just by watching how that guy behaved out there, whether he pitched well. If you won, you're out there and the balls are coming in from the outfield and you're taking jump shots into the bucket and flipping them behind your back. If you lost, you're just standing there as the baseballs kind of pile up around your feet, kind of moping, kick it towards the screen every now and then.
1-2 on Russell. If you've noticed, it looks a little hazy on the center field shot at times. It's because of the sun coming through the panels. That should disappear here in a few minutes. We near dusk, and that ball lined into left, and Russell's got a 12-game hitting streak. I was talking with his manager the other day about him hitting 9th, and it sounds like he's going to leave Russell right where he is for the time being. He's comfortable there. And it sounds like Russell kind of likes it. It's worked out well for him.
Hitting his last at bat last night, keep his hitting streak alive. Takes care of it early here tonight. Good solid line drive single.
He's got a good lead as Fowler takes ball 1 in the dirt. So in spring training, Joe talked about the pitcher 8 as somewhat of an experiment. He obviously likes it. He has not batted the pitcher 9th yet.
Yeah, so he must be getting the results he wanted, right? He must be seeing that the guys at the top of the order, the 2-3 hitters, are getting the opportunities, or maybe it's just a matter of he wants to play with it for a certain amount of time so he can kind of gather enough evidence.
Fowler drives that one out into the gap in left center. See if Russell can score. And he will easily, and Fowler's going to keep running, but that ball is stuck under the padding, and he will likely be sent back to second.
It's really unfortunate because obviously Russell is going to score.
I think Joe's going to ask Tom Hallion, come on, Russell's got to score, right? I'll edit.
I don't know.
He said that's messed up.
I don't know if umpires have leeway on this.
Is that an automatic 2?
I think it's an automatic 2.
There's no doubt if they had placed the runners where they should be, Russell scores. But I think you might be right.
Yeah, I think it's dictated by the ground rule. 2 bases from where you started at the beginning of the play when the ball was
which is unlike fan interference, right?
Right, fan interference they have, they can kind of, you know what, he would have scored. Put a little bumper down there.
Well, like I said, this happened in St. Louis. It's amazing that happens in Major League ballparks. At any rate, here's Bryant with an RBI chance and a high, deep drive. Left center. Is this the one? You bet it is. That is a 3-run homer. The first of Chris Bryant's career.
Listen to these Cub fans. Folks have been waiting to see the big guy hit a big fly, and they are loving it. He's going to find him. Oh, that is awesome.
That was a whoop bomb. It was almost a roof scraper. So he hits his first Major League home run in his 92nd career plate appearance. And that is the first 3-run homer the Cubs have hit this season.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, hugs all the way around. That has to feel awfully good for that young man. He hasn't said anything. He's been saying all the right things about not putting pressure on himself to hit home runs. He's been playing the game hard, working his walks, playing solid defense. The base running's been outstanding. And this is what everybody wants to see him do, hit the ball out of the ballpark. They got an early read on it, and the silent treatment is on.
Even the manager.
And maybe the loudest ovation I've ever heard for a visiting player.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Ford home run replay, number 1 of many to come.
About the extension.
I love the fact that he went looking for him.
Rizzo strikes out. He's now got 17 RBIs. He's just one off the team lead. It's going to Castro, 18.
We'll see if that gets him into a little bit of a groove.
Home run was like Woodstock. Everybody in the world said they just predicted it, even though they all predicted that he was going to do it each of the last 13 straight days. I called it.
Yeah, I was all over that one.
Roche wanted it, didn't get it. 3-1 for Montero. Two. Home run ball continues to be a problem for Kyle Lohse and the Brewers pitching staff. Swing and a miss to end the inning. Welcome to the boomtown, young man. 3-run homer for the first of his career.
Brewers 2 on Saturday, May 16th. The Cubs play the Pirates at 3:05. The first 20,000 fans in attendance will receive a reusable tote bag presented by the MLB Network. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
What JD said. Yeah.
Saturday, May 16th at 3:05. The first 20,000 fans will receive a reusable Cubs tote bag.
I just realized that I got to Sarah Palin in the home run call. Did you notice?
I did not.
Pew, pew. I said, you betcha. There's a base hit for Segura. And I may have winked when I did it. 3-2 Cubs here in the third inning. Segura leads off. Base hit.
Yeah, that would be a thing. That could be your new thing. You could do political slogans as home run calls.
I stay away from politics.
Here's a swing and a drive. I am not a crook.
Tear down that wall. Strike one.
Mr. Bryant, tear down that wall. I kind of like that one.
I got to give you just a little dose of inside baseball for fans who don't get to obviously be in the clubhouse. Chris was sitting on one of the couches with Anthony Rizzo, and Ron Coomer and I were talking to Riz, just talking baseball. And Anthony was kind of giving it to Coomer about, you didn't have to face guys who throw 98 when you played, that kind of thing. And Bryant just sat there every 2 minutes. He'd just chuckle, and it was just kind of a typical scene where you got kind of a veteran guy talking to the broadcasters, and the rookie, he was passively participating, and that's Chris Bryant. He's not a guy who's going to be loud or obnoxious. Just gets it. Knocked down by Russell, and he will not have a play. The ball's hit hard. It could have been two had he fielded it cleanly, but instead they've got two on with nobody out.
Yeah, and I think the first part of your call there, that it could have been two, I think that's what got to him. He was in a hurry to get there and get into position to make that feed to second base, and never did cleanly get the baseball. Clearly well struck. The ball hit hard by Gomez. Growing pains for Russell as he makes that transition over to the right side of the infield.
The second error by the Cubs. And it's Ryan Braun. So trouble here for Travis.
Stepping out, Wood stepping off after a new set of signs. Big early game confrontation here. Ooh, man, good try. Just a bit outside. Let's take a look at our Menard's pitch tracks. Just off that outside corner.
Dropped by Montero, but he still got the call. 1-1. With a 1-1, it's inside. Braun's got his little between pitch routine, but I've noticed he keeps his feet in the box.
Yeah, the last one he had like his toe right on the edge of the box. So he does all the things he normally would do, but he doesn't leave the box.
And the curveball, 3-1.
taking as much time as ever. It's kind of violating the spirit of the rule, but not the rule itself.
Ron violated a rule. The 3-1 going in, and they're loaded.
That little bat flip's kind of annoying too. That's the kind of stuff that kind of shows up the opposition.
So they're loaded for Adam Lynn.
I didn't need this. They weren't going to challenge me.
So big spot in this one just after Bryant gave the Cubs the lead. Brewers have 3 on, nobody out. Ball 1 to Adam Lynn.
Well, first pitch to Braun was a quality pitch. A fastball just missed the outside corner. He can kind of get into the head of Travis Wood here. He's trying to be very precise. Doesn't want to give in to these middle of the order hitters. It's not a very deep lineup that the Brewers are running out there these days with Gomez and Ramirez out of action and LaCroix on the DL. Braun and Lynn, the 2 guys you really identify as dangerous in their lineup. Good pitch coming. Chris Fazio wants to talk about it.
Okay, so what's the psychology here for a pitcher with this spot? You're behind in the count, bases loaded, nobody out. Is this where you just got to try to empty your mind of all the bad possibilities that can possibly happen?
And I think, given that Lynn out there as a left-handed hitter is going to sacrifice a lot of power. If you hang him a breaking ball, he might take that deep. I would just, if I'm Travis, I'd be willing to challenge him with a fastball or a cutter and just try to keep it out of his power. Most lefties like the ball down and in. If this was Braun in this situation, 2-0, hitting with the bases loaded, I'd pitch very carefully with him, and if I walked in a run, so be it.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, he wasn't going to give anything. Cutter off the plate there on 2-0.
Line to Rizzo. And they only get 1, but you'll take it. It's a rope to Rizzo.
Sometimes you need a little good fortune to get out of a jam. And that's the pitch I was talking about. That you think maybe you can just drop a little get over breaking ball and get away with it. Usually you pay a price. Lynn really hit it hard, but fortunately for Wood and the Cubs, right at Rizzo.
One down, 2 to go. Here's Davis, who already has 5 hits in this series, 5 for 6. Good play by Braun to not get doubled off first.
The ball was hit so hard he didn't have time to stray.
A curve at 69, but ball 2.
A double take from Travis, like we saw from Loesch last half. Pitcher's feeling like they're getting squeezed a little bit by Tom Hallion. I'm guessing Davis has a green light here.
He does. Trouble. Major trouble. And it bounces out of play. They're going to score 2 and retake the lead. 4-3. Chris Davis, 6 out of 7 in the series.
And even though Parra went deep last time up, the Brewers getting down towards the bottom of their order. Davis, a dangerous right-handed hitter, so Greg Counsell is going to let him swing away at 3-0. Kind of that conversation we had earlier, but the one time a hitter can count on getting a fastball, in this day and age, is on 3-0. Travis tried to throw him down around the knees on 2-0, missed. Felt like he had to challenge there, and Davis clearly up to the challenge.
So second and third, 2 runs in. And it's Parra who homered in his first at bat. Strike call. Drifting back, both runners are going to tag. Throwing from third, Davis from second to third, and it's a sacrifice fly for Parra, giving him 3 knocked in 2 plate appearances, and it's 5-3 Milwaukee.
Brewers getting some really good swings at Travis here in this inning. It was the error, but that ball was really scalded. Sometimes a certain ballpark, if you've had a couple rough outings there, you kind of bring that history with you to the mound. You don't have a good feel. Got hit around here twice last year, had an ERA of 7.52 in this ballpark, the highest of any ballpark for him that he's had any number of starts in.
Two and one now to Maldonado. Getting behind here in this inning. This will get him out of it. Not before the Brewers get 3 runs and re-grab the lead. It's 5-3 after 3. Between the Bulls and Cavs, flip over to Comcast Sportsnet for Kia Bulls post-game live after every playoff game on CSN. Bulls with a 2-1 lead in that best of 7. Chris Davis, huge series. 2-run double in the 3rd inning to give Milwaukee its 2nd lead tonight. Would add on the Parra sac fly. Laced left field corner, fair ball. Soler around first, on his way to 2nd, and he's got a double.
Hit the ball harder than that guy. Nobody. Look at this bat fly through the zone. It's a full extension earlier. It's a vicious swing of the bat.
So leadoff 2-bagger, and now Castro. And to center in the 2nd. Pitch in there, strike 1.
And they said bat last time, fell behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Battled back, hit the ball hard, hit a deep center field.
The other Chris Davis with a C, homered today for the Orioles. They snapped a 4-game losing streak by beating the Yanks in the Bronx 6-2. 3 more hits for Jimmy Paredes, including a home run.
The other Bryce Harper also hit a home run today too.
The other one.
6th in 3 days. It was a walk-off. What a roll he is on.
I think he'll be the player of the week.
A good chance.
They may make him the American League Player of the Week. That's how good he's been.
You know, and he's been around a couple of years now. Bryce Harper's just 22 years of age. He's the 2nd or 3rd youngest guy in the league.
1-2.
That has rekindled the Harper-Trout debate. Remember when they were both coming up, there was kind of a lively debate as to who was better. And Trout has taken over as the best player in baseball, but Harper's starting to press his case. So much young talent in the game. So many 25 and younger players are bursting onto the scene here. Cubs got a whole bunch of them.
Red Sox had another team meeting after they had lost in Toronto 7-1. Sox have lost 14 of their last 20 after winning 7 of their first 10.
They need some pitching help, don't they?
I think so. Well, they've got a new pitching coach, Carl Willis.
Oh, they did hire a big train. Good for him.
Ground ball toward right, and it's through. Soler around 3rd. On his way to the plate. He will score. 5-4 on the RBI hit from Castro.
Oh, a beautiful job there by Starlin. Off the bat, you thought, well, that at least is going to get him over to 3rd with a ground ball to the right side, but he put enough pace on it, hit it sharply enough to get it into the outfield for an RBI single. He hit that ball hard to center last time. Hit that, the home run he pulled was a breaking ball last night, but he's at his best when he's thinking middle away like so many hitters. He stays on the ball a lot better.
Still nobody out. Check on the runner. Now, Carl Willis was Cleveland's AAA pitching coach. He's had previous experience at the big league level, Cleveland and Seattle. And former big league reliever as well.
Yeah, he had a long run with Cleveland and with Eric Wedge, and then he went out with Eric Wedge to Seattle, and he was with Farrell in Cleveland, I think. They were together.
Pirates have turned to triple play against the Cardinals tonight. Cardinals lead that game 5-3 in the fifth. Second turned in as many seasons. The Pirates around the horn against the Cubs last September 14th. Molina line to Walker with runners at first and second. Walker to Gung. Third, and then they fired to second to get Hayward. Runners at second and third. Yeah, so line out. The runners doubled and tripled off.
Cardinals lead that game 5-3. The Pirates had an early 3-0 lead. The Cardinals dropped a 5 spot on them in the fourth.
So they're 22-7. Best record in baseball. 6.5 up on the Cubs starting play tonight. Lowe's with a 1-2. 2-2.
Yeah, you know, the Cubs all that concerned with the Cardinals. You know, they're concerned with taking care of their own business. Just go out and win as many games as you can. If the Cardinals continue to play at this pace, they're just going to run away and hide. You can't really worry about them too much. Just go out and do your thing.
This will not be a double play. They'll only get the batter Coughlin. Castro's at second with 1 out. The Budweiser bleachers are set to make their season debut. The enhanced bleachers will have a new look and feel with additional amenities and more group spaces. Tickets are available for games as early as this Monday night against the Mets. Visit Cubs.com/bleachers to buy tickets and learn more about the new spaces and when they'll be available. Couple of shots to tie it up here with a runner at second and 1 out. Travis Wood fouls. Pitcher's ERA is going to be helped very much by what has transpired tonight, although Wood allowing 5 runs, only 3 earned to this point. Kind of like Wood's last start. I think you mentioned it, Wood and Martinez. About pitching well, it's just about finding a way to get a win, however you can do it.
And there are nights when you have the command of your stuff, everything's kind of clicking along nicely, and there are other nights where it's just a battle. And you hope you're up against a guy who's given up some runs himself that night, and that's exactly the case here tonight. Both these guys with a chance to get a win.
Well, as we found out last night with the insurance in the ninth, you never quite know what's going to be the key run. The run that you have to win the game. And he got it. The Travis Wood go to Jason Hamill for some offensive help. I don't think he needs it. He'll be fine. Here's Russell with 2 outs.
I asked Addison today, I said, what did you do in high school besides play baseball? Play some hoops, play football? He said, yeah, I was a running back. I said, did you have scholarship offers? He said, a couple. He goes, I got some mail from Nebraska. Didn't really look at it and pretty much committed to playing baseball at that point. But if Nebraska was interested, he obviously was a pretty good player. A's took him with the 11th pick in the draft that year. 11th or 12th overall. He was contemplating playing college baseball at Auburn.
Number 11. 2012.
I knew it was 11th and 12 or 12th and 11.
So the guys ahead of him who've made the big leagues: Mike Zunino, Kevin Gausman, and Andrew Heaney. Carlos Correa went number 1 for the Astros. Albert Almora went 6th to the Cubs. Maybe a future Cubs draft pick as well. We're walking off the field, but Alfonso Marquez, he held up. Now Craig Counsell may ask a review on a foul ball, or a foul tip I should say. If it's a foul tip, it's strike 3.
He's shaking his head. That would be a tough one to see on replay.
No way. May have been a foul tip, but not going to determine that on replay.
Well, she's thrown quite a number of fastballs up in the zone tonight. And normally he doesn't do that. And I think it's intentional. Just trying to change his game a little bit.
This time he does strike out Russell. Cubs get 1 back and trail 5-4 midway in the 4th.
Showing a game-used Chris Bryant bat. Well, that's timely. A Jake Arrieta jersey and more. This week's auction closes Sunday at 8 p.m. Go to Cubs.com/auction Flash Authentics to place your bids. The Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics to Cubs charities.
And Herrera shows bunt. Takes strike one.
Mickey may be trying to break in a new mitt back there tonight. A couple pop out on him.
Loesch on deck, then Segura. Wood went 1-2-3 in a pretty easy first inning. Gave up the 2-run homer to Parra in the second, and then allowed 3 runs. And 1 was earned in the third.
Herrera, then Loesch, and looks like Loesch will stay in the game, and then the top of the order. There's action in the Cubs bullpen just in case the Brewers get a little something going.
He's grabbed by a fan right along the railing. I don't think Soler would have had a play on it. Similar one last night. Cubs thought about challenging but did not.
Was clearly out of play. And Jackson heating up out there.
Strike 3.
Herrera thought this ball was low. Let's take a look at our pitch tracks. Low-ish, but at the knees. And Tom Hallion rings him up.
Cetus Escobar with a home run on the first pitch of the day today in Detroit. Kansas City beat the Tigers 6-2. Keep going back and forth during that series. Who wants to lead the division? Royals now up a half a game.
And David Price got something going on, doesn't he? Hammy or something?
Mild right hamstring sprain. Now tip. Strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Wood. We've got 3 on the night. Jumping in will be Segura. Twins have won 4 in a row, 7-4 at Cleveland. Boy, it's been a rough weather week in Colorado. Had another rainout. It's supposed to be Clayton Kershaw and Jorge De La Rosa. Game postponed. Very short win for the Dodgers. Last night, deep left and gone. A home run for Gene Segura. 6-4.
Second of the night for the Brewers. Second of the year for Segura. His lower body well there. Short home run replay. We've seen a whole bunch of them in the first 2 games of this series.
Gomez in the air, and Soler makes a catch, and the inning is over. 2-out homer by Segura, his second of the year. And it's now Milwaukee 6 and the Cubs 4. Long on Comcast Sportsnet, brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Patrick in the booth with us here in the 5th inning. The Cubs trailing 6-4. Chris Bryant at his first career home run in his 92nd plate appearance. And the dugout emptying. You had Starlin Castro mimicking Bryant on the ground out the other night. It's kind of a fun, loosey-goosey atmosphere that the manager has really fostered.
Yeah, no, I got to give Chris credit for the way he has been able to blend in ever since spring training, when we were talking about him nonstop, and Scott Boras was doing his job, and the billboard across the street from Wrigley, the Red Bull commercial. He's really been able to walk a fine line there of kind of doing some of that other stuff and dealing with the attention while also being a part of the team and understanding his place within the team and kind of getting along with the veterans. It's been pretty impressive to watch.
Did you call the home run? Did you say he's going to go deep right here?
I think I probably did like a week ago.
We've all taken our shot, right?
Yeah.
It would be really cool if he called it. He just turned his boys. Now's the time.
This is the one. 3-1 on Fowler. Here it is. He got under one to right. It's caught by Ryan Braun. Here comes Bryant. Yeah, it was just a matter of time, but I think maybe a little relief. He doesn't have to keep answering questions about it. Xfinity high-speed action. And I don't think he'll end up with one on the year either.
I love how little movement there is in the lower body. He just kind of lifts his foot up a little bit, sets it back down. It's not a big load.
this is a guy who has a junior at the University of San Diego, not only led the nation in home runs, he out-homered more than like 200 Division I programs overall.
Yeah, it was like what Babe Ruth used to do back in the day when Babe hit more home runs than all the other teams in the league.
Well, they changed the bats, right? The makeup of the bats. Home runs went way down, and he still hit over 30. And for another one there. What did Joe have to say today about the bullpen?
Yeah, it was interesting because we had talked to Pedro Strop last night after we talked to Joe, and Strop wouldn't come out and say it that maybe he's been worked or ridden a little too hard these last couple of days. He's like, that's kind of against the code. He's like, if someone else said it, might not necessarily disagree with it. So Joe said his numbers are still the same in terms of velocity. What he's seeing is that maybe he is dealing with something. He's tied for the major league lead in appearances, and I think we've all noticed in the last couple of games a little off. Joe thinks that'll even out over the course of the season.
Braun again. But that's the area of concern, right? That's the one spot. They've got to get it right. They've had some leads late slip away on this road trip.
And they need better starting pitching. I think we've been talking about that for a while now, that you can't keep hitting your bullpen in the 5th, 6th inning or earlier every night. It's going to take a toll. And I think with Rondon, it's more a matter of not throwing 19 consecutive fastballs between 94 and 96 miles an hour. And I think he even admitted today that it's hard when you're coming into that non-save situation, that maybe not all the adrenaline's there quite yet, but he'll get it figured out.
So that one, some baseball people hate hearing that. But JD, as a pitcher, can you speak to that? Is there just some?
I think there's sometimes, even as a starting pitcher, where you need to be kicked in the backside. A lot of times it's something that happens on the field. You get a little, and you kind of get engaged. I think for a short reliever in almost any situation would have that adrenaline rush. I guess a 4-run lead would be a little different. I think a lot of it has to do with the hitter's approach. I think if you're hitting against a closer in a 1-run game in the 9th inning, there's a tendency for hitters to be a little antsy and a little anxious. And I think when it's a 3 or 4-run game, the hitters just hit. They don't feel the pressure that they would if they're down. If it's in a close game. And so I think they're less likely to chase.
2-2 on Rizzo.
I think accuracy, he's had a couple of those this year, hasn't he, where he's come in with a comfortable lead and kind of giving it up.
Rizzo drills one into center.
How good is this guy? Wow. We'll go back to that conversation we've had the last couple of nights. Madden keeps talking about the 2-strike approach. There's a great example of it there. No movement in the lower body, just playing a little pepper.
Should be a fun series against the Mets. Patrick, we've got last year's Rookie of the Year, Jacob deGrom, Monday. Noah Syndergaard, the Mets' top prospect, slated to make his big league debut on Tuesday. And what they call Matt Harvey Day will be Wednesday.
They call him the Dark Knight in Gotham.
Well, it's interesting because the Mets are a team that's kind of been on a similar path as the Cubs, and they went pretty much all in with pitching. They threw their resources in that direction while the Cubs kept collecting all these power hitters. I guess time will tell, who's right. That's part of why I'm sure on Monday that all the New York writers are going to swarm Starlin Castro.
Well,
and the ones who aren't are going to be trying to talk to Addison Russell. So they are this kind of matchup scenario. Yeah.
That's why I think a lot of those rumors have started, because they do seem to match up in terms of pitching versus position players.
Yeah, and it'll be written that the Mets are showcasing Syndergaard so the Cubs can get a look at him.
One and two on Montero. It's been a hitter's night Not a pitcher's evening so far. And 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's an opening night of sorts on Monday for the part of the bleachers opening up.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that plays with the video board, getting people back in there. Who's going to be the first left fielder to get a beer dumped on him?
It gets by, and Rizzo will advance. And nobody's been heckled to this point.
That was Victor Reno a couple of years ago, right?
It was, yes.
Heckle-free zone.
So this next pitch will be number 100 for Loesch. We're only in the 5th inning. And a pass ball has been charged to Maldonado. That's Jeremy Jeffress. Pass ball is not an error, but it is treated like one when it comes to figuring out earned and unearned runs. Let's keep that in mind. Ball 4 to Montero. Patrick, thanks for the time as always. CSNChicago.com. Check out his work. We'll see you back home in Chicago.
See you in the
2
bleachers.
on with 2 down. Rick Kranitz, the Brewer pitching coach, will head out. It's Loesch's first walk.
Well, Loesch got off to a good start here tonight. He struck out Fallon to start the ball game. Went 3 up, 3 down in the first. About a single to Montero in the second, but then got 3 in a row. But since then, it's been tough sledding for him. He's had to work awfully hard. He just doesn't have any put-away pitches.
Speaking of the Mets, Juan Lagares just hit a home run. 2-run shot in the 7th. Off Aaron Harang as they have grabbed a 3-2 lead at Philadelphia. John Neese pitching for the Mets. We'll start on Thursday.
I think it's Aaron Harang's birthday. Really nice to do to a guy on his birthday.
It's today, May 9th. Yep. So he is 35. No, 37.
Can't beat Father Time, but Aaron Harang's hung in there. You get the sense watching Loesch pitch here that he's just hoping Soler to get himself out and get a little anxious in this RBI situation and chase something out of the zone. Breaking ball away, fastball up and in. Soler sticking to his plan.
John Maley, the Cubs hitting coach, observing. And the 2-1 from Loesch. Now 2-2.
Pretty good chance the Brewers are going to be in back up the truck mode as the trade deadline nears. Loesch may be a guy who get them a nice piece in return if he turns his game around. If he continues to pitch like this, wouldn't get much for him. Change of scenery though might do him well. Tougher when you got veteran guys club that is apparently going nowhere.
Pause here at the belt. Swing and a miss to end the inning. Cubs strand a couple. They're down 6-4 in the fifth.
Thanks, Cap. We are back in Milwaukee. Brewers to bat here in the bottom half of the fifth. They lead the Cubs 6-4. Joe Madden has made a pitching change. Travis Wood's night is done. Edwin Jackson comes into the ball game. And he's on for the eighth time. 1 up, 1 down, a 1.86 ERA for Jackson. He allowed 10 hits and a walk in 9 2/3 while striking out 9. Travis tonight, 4 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, couple of long balls.
Strike 1 on Braun. To his dismay.
Yeah, pitch was off, he's telling Tom Hallion.
But low. 2-1. Jackson went into spring training stretching out as a starter. Began the regular season in the bullpen where he has remained. 3-1.
He could be a hero here tonight. He could come in and pitch a couple of innings, shut down the Brewers, give the Cubs a chance to get back and take the lead. He could be a winning pitcher. Save some bullets from out in that bullpen.
7 appearances, 4 of which have been 2 innings. Season high of 38 pitches on April 29th. 3-2.
Yeah, he's been mostly good. This is his second appearance on this road trip. In St. Louis the other night, he allowed 2 runs in 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 hits. Velocity has been good. Mid-90s fastball. He's had pretty good depth on his slider. Been used in too many high leverage situations.
"31 years old. Year 3 of a 4-year free agent contract. And his 3-2 is low. Braun walks.
Maybe just tried to ask a little too much of himself there. Tried to get a little something extra there on that fastball. And hitters like Braun will do that to you.
And 0 for 2. Don't know the details, but the Tampa Bay Rays were 0 for 11 in replay challenges before winning one in their game tonight against Texas. Tampa Bay leading 6-2 in the top of the 8th.
A little dust up in that ball game tonight. Pickoff play at second base.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's Drupal, Cabrera, and somebody got into it. Somebody caught an elbow. Took umbrage.
The 2-0 on the way. Now 3 balls, no strikes to Lynn.
Jackson out there stretching his arm a little bit. It's got Montero's attention. Cut that fastball off. Didn't trust it. Pep talk there from Montero.
Wrong runs, ball 4. So Jackson creating his own trouble here with back-to-back walks and bringing up their hottest hitter, Chris Davis.
We focus so much in bullpens about protecting leads, but these are big innings here. You get into a game like this where you feel like you should be able to score more runs against this Brewer bullpen, but you got to shut them down.
Phil Koch, catch with the camera guy, looks like. Davis with 2 on and nobody out. Back-to-back walks. Mentioned Davis had been slumping. He was 6 for 49 going into this series. That included an 0 for 10 5-strikeout series at Wrigley Field last weekend. But in this series, he is 6 out of 7 with 5 RBIs, a homer, 2 doubles.
Yeah, he's a dangerous hitter. He takes a big swing. Does swing and miss a lot, but he'll take his walks. Visit there. That's just all about giving Coke time to get ready for Parra. This was a quick turnaround here from Jackson in terms of the quality of his pitches. It's going to be a short night for him.
Driven out to deep left center. And right at the base of the wall, Braun's going to score. Lind will be held at third. It's a double for Davis. 3 knocked in last night, 3 more tonight. 7-4.
Tried to crowd him with a fastball. Davis pretty quick to it. Off the base of the wall. Well played out there by Fowler, and that prevents Lind from scoring for now. Joe Madden's going to make a pitching change.
Phil Koch summoned. It is a Weber's Sauces and Seasonings call to the pen. Why grill with anything else? We'll be back. The pen, and it's left-hander Phil Koch. Already a run in, and Milwaukee has runners at second and third with nobody out, leading by 3.
Koch, no wins, no losses, a 5.19 ERA. He's allowed 13 hits at 8 2/3 innings. He struck out 9, walked 2. Ground ball pitcher, and had a fair bit of misfortune. Those ground balls finding holes. Fastball that averages 93 miles an hour. Slider, he'll cut his fastball, and he has a changeup.
Infield in. Parra has knocked in 3 already. Lind at third, Davis at second. Ball 1. Five and 6 in the order. Has done a ton of damage tonight. Think of 2 Brewers outfielders combining for 6 RBIs, you would assume it's Gomez and Braun, but it's Davis and Parra.
He's going to go with Burnett and Jenkins. What was that one, Tommy Boy? Must have been outside. It was. Wasn't even close. My apologies, Mr. Hallion. Camera angle got me. He's not a big guy. Gives you kind of a tight strike zone to deal with. And as we saw earlier, he does have a little bit of power. Home run to straightaway center in the second inning. More as a line drive, gap to gap hitter who gets a lot of doubles, but every now and then he'll get out in front of one, lay into one as he did his first at bat tonight.
Three-two on the way. And this one down the left field line will get out of play. He said, what, Burnitz, Jenkins?
Yeah.
I was thinking Ogilvy, Thomas. We want to go back to the Braves days here in Milwaukee. How about Aaron and Covington?
Covington?
Wes Covington.
Oh, yeah, Wes Covington. Aaron was pretty good.
Yes, he was. Still 3-2. Did you know when the Boston Braves moved to Milwaukee in 1953, they won 92 games. The final year in Milwaukee before they moved to Atlanta, Braves won 86. They did not have a losing season the entire time they were the Milwaukee Braves. After the World Series back-to-back years, 57, 58, won it in 57. It's a pretty successful tenure. The second they left, Bud Selig wanted to bring a baseball team back, and he did in 1970. Seattle Pilots. Another 3-2 and another foul. As long as bat continues.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how he could finish off Parra here, and he's just, he's kind of covering everything. Might be able to get him to chase a high fastball. That was pretty good up there.
So this will be the 10th pitch of this sequence.
Trying to bury a slider down in the dirt.
Ball four.
See a little fist pump there from Parra. Had himself one heck of an at bat. He's having a great night. Home run, sac, fly. Now works a tough walk on a borderline pitch. Looking at his numbers last night, I think he only walked once all year. What does he have here? Yeah, that's his third walk. He walked once coming into the game last night. Now he's up to 3.
Bases loaded for Maldonado.
Sharply on the ground to the left side. Good candidate for a 6-2-3 double play.
Miller in center. Lind tagging. Davis tags as well. Sacrifice fly for Maldonado. 8-4.
Darnell Coles is the new hitting coach for the Brewers, and he's got to be impressed with the approach his hitters have had here tonight. Great job by Maldonado, making sure he got that ball airborne.
And a 2-for-1 as he also moved Davis to third. with only one out. Bring up Herrera. Infield still in.
Had that shot at Joe Madden telling Montero, basically freeing him up if he wants to take a shot at Davis down there at third base.
Ed Cedar, the third base coach. Mike Guerrero over at first. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, you mentioned Darnell Coles, Craig Counsell taking over as the manager. It'll be interesting to see if any coaching changes are made. Usually when a new manager comes in, they give them a little leeway in terms of, is there anybody in particular you would like on your staff? Ground ball to third. Bryant will get the out at first. So 2 away, second and third. Get a pinch hitter with Loesch, Jason Rogers.
Really surprised that Davis wasn't going on contact there.
Normally in that spot.
Yeah, 1 out, double plays in order.
So Loesch, less than a quality start, but has a chance for a win. He went 5 innings. Looks like Jeffress will take over in the 6th.
Two runs in this inning charged to Edwin Jackson. Came in to face Parra. He walked, sac fly Maldonado. I've just got some power.
So Milwaukee, going back to last night, JD, have scored in 7 of their last 9 innings.
Boy, and you're catching them at a time too when they're down. You know, Croy's on the DL, no Ramirez, no Carlos Gomez. Pretty watered down lineup that they're running out there.
Clubbed out into deep left center. Gone. A 3-run homer in the pitch for Rogers. And they have busted it wide open. 11-4.
Cubs bullpen has really taken a pretty good pounding on this road trip.
That's his first career homer. Sproul goes out Segura, but a lot of damage done. 5 big ones. And the lead now is 7 for Milwaukee. It's 11-4.
Five innings. Here's your chance to step up to the plate for Chicago's kids and support Cubs charities and the Wood Family Foundation at the inaugural Battle of the Bats Charity Home Run Derby. Takes place on Thursday, June 18th. Join Kerry Wood and Cubs alumni as you swing for the fences at Wrigley Field. Registration and information is available at Cubs.com/derby.
So the Brewers put up 5 runs on 2 hits.
Yeah, 3 walks and a sac fly, a double and a home run, all stirred together in a 5 spot.
Andrews with the first of his career. A lot of work to be done. Down 7 as Jeremy Jeffress will face Starlin Castro. He's got chalk or rosin all over his batting helmet.
This last pitched on Thursday against the Dodgers. Allowed 3 hits and 2 runs.
Fastball for a strike. 1-1.
Astros had 2 very good at-bats tonight. Deep drive to center for an out first time. RBI single to right last time up.
On the ground to the shortstop Segura. So here's what I've noticed looking at the bullpen's game logs for the Cubs. Really good. Really bad. Really good. Now they're in that bad stretch. I mean, it's been like good week, bad week, good week, bad week. Very odd.
Yeah, and as a manager, you're kind of caught in between, right? Because when the bullpen was going so good, you tend to lean on them. So you might get your starter out an inning earlier than you might otherwise, and then the bullpen starts to scuffle, and you're wishing your starters could extend, pitch deeper into the game, but if they're not on top of their game, there's just nowhere to go.
So the last 10 games, including tonight, the bullpen has allowed 27 runs. Codlin grounds out to Gomez. Jonathan Herrera off the bench for Koch. Jackson didn't get an out. He was charged with 3 of those 5 runs. Koch went an inning and charged with 2. And ready for the sausage race. Jonathan, a switch hitter. 0-2. Everything here on the ground. Jeffress goes 1, 2, 3. It's Milwaukee 11 and the Cubs 4. Wrigley Field, the Cubs offer 90-minute guided tours that include a chance to step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses over 100 years of history. For more info, visit Cubs.com/tours. Chorizo again?
I think so, yeah. Chorizo won last night.
It's 2 in a row.
From behind fashion.
Jason Mott will pitch. Jonathan Herrera will stay in and play second.
So far, the bullpen is knocked around here tonight. See if Jason Mott can turn things around.
Looks like Wellington Castillo's not catching as well. And I think Jonathan's got to change his uniform top. Been that kind of night. Yeah, so the Cubs have 3 different road uniforms. 2 are gray, so you can see how that could happen. People ask us all the time, you guys ever wear the wrong logoed shirt?
Yeah.
I think you have done it yet?
Well, kind of. Taping an interview or something like that.
Right. Okay.
Not in a game.
Right.
So that one Herrera's wearing, that's my favorite. I like that one. That's the traditional, the gray with the
Chicago Cubs.
City.
Yeah. It all covered. There may be a young fan here who doesn't know what city the Brewers are playing.
Which Cubs are these? Oh, the Chicago Cubs.
I think everybody on the left side of the diamond should wear Chicago, and the guys on the right wear Cubs. 1 and 2.
I'm on board with that. Jason Mott was a catcher at Iona. He was drafted as a catcher by the Cardinals. Stayed behind the plate for a couple of years before they kind of impressed upon him the need for him to make a little shift.
It's Addison Russell making the catch at short, so lots of changes. They're defensively in the bottom of the 6th. So Castro's out. Montero is out.
He said when the Cardinals first asked him to think about making the move from behind the plate down the mound, he kind of balked at it. Said, "No, I want to keep trying to, catch and hit." And then through a patch where he didn't do a whole lot with the bat, got hurt. And the second time they came to him, they said, "Well, here are your options. You can either make the change to the mound, or we're going to release you." He said, "Okay, I'm in." It's worked out pretty well for him. He led the National League in saves a couple of years back with the Cardinals. But he was telling me, I said, "Did you pitch a little bit at Iona?" He said he did not pitch at all between Little League and professional baseball.
Interesting. He kind of acts like a pitcher, but I'd say more like a lefty.
Yeah, he's got a little mannerisms like a Matt Hungarian out there.
Poke the other way into right for a base hit. Lynn walked and scored in the last inning. That was the big one, 5 runs. One of the main reasons Joe has made these changes, getting a couple of his regulars out of there.
Yeah, well, one of these days we're going to want to give Castro a day off and Russell a chance to make a start at shortstop. Jackson tonight charged with 3 runs on 1 hit and a couple of walks. Did not retire a batter. Phil Koch 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 runs with a walk.
Lifted into right center. And Soler falls off Fowler. Chris Davis 3 for 3, 3 RBIs, 2 runs. about the Pirates coming back? They're down 5-3 in the 5th inning to the Cardinals. They got 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. Now lead St. Louis 7-5 as they go to the 9th. Uncle Blazek, the home bullpen.
And the Pirates bats have started to show some life here in the last 2-3 days.
1-2.
McCutcheon starting to pick it up a little bit.
Council's team, 2 wins and 3 losses since he took over. He was asked about, potential rebuilding project down the road, and I liked his answer. He said, "My job right now is to win games." He does not really dictate the roster. He dictates who plays where, and
that's what Doug Melvin told him. He said, "Look, just go out and win as many games as you can. Figure out the rest of it upstairs as to what direction we're going to go." They're averaging a little better than 30,000 per game here. Just to take a look at some first-time big league managers.
Yeah, with basically no previous experience. But if you added up the years played in the big leagues, it would be pretty massive among that group. You see Jerry Nara next to him, the bench coach. A lot of experience. Davis takes ball 4.
Yeah, that's really important when you got a guy who's new in that manager seat and somebody you can lean on. The game, we talk so much about pace of play and how it can be so slow at times. Well, ask a first-time manager about pace of play. The game really speeds up when you're down there trying to think 2, 3, 4 moves ahead and getting guys up in the bullpen, anticipating certain matchups.
Yeah, that shot was actually interesting. Most managers have a little cheat sheet. Joe does. You saw Jerry Naron kind of had one. Craig Counsell may have one, but he doesn't have it in his hand. And he commented on that earlier. He said he's going to rely very heavily on his coaches to do all the little stuff during a game, and he's kind of looking more at the big picture stuff. So he really is learning on the job. And that's probably not a bad way to do it, to kind of free your mind a little bit when this game goes so fast.
Yeah, and that's not a bad model, period. If you've got good people around you, delegate a lot of responsibility. You're in charge of setting the tone. I don't think, when Tommy Lasorda managed all those years in L.A., I think that's kind of how Tommy did it.
See, color coded and everything. Yeah, everybody does it a little differently. I mean, how many buttons has Craig had to push tonight? Not too many, right?
No. I mean, it's usually, the old adage is the first 6 innings belong to the players and the last 3 belong to the managers with all the bullpen moves and pinch hitters and things of that nature.
3-1 on Parra.
The biggest decisions the managers had to make in this game was how long to go with their starting pitchers. When your starters start to get knocked around, you have to have a feel for whether they're going to be able to bounce back and take control of the game, or whether it makes sense just to pull the plug on them.
Deflected off the glove of a diving Anthony Rizzo. Braun will hustle home. 12-4.
They're going to be calling Carlos Gomez Wally Pipp in the Brewer dugout. Parra is performing in his stead. Wally Pipp was the guy that was replaced by Lou Gehrig. At home wondering what I'm talking about. and then Lou Gehrig played a whole lot of games in a row. We called him the Iron Man, and then Cal Ripken broke that record a few years ago. See, right now somebody say, "Hey, Wally Pipp." Who's Wally Pipp? Who are you calling a Pip?
I was going to drop a Gladys Knight the Pips reference, but I'm guessing he's too young to remember them. Rizzo makes a catch. We'll go to the 7th. All Brewers tonight, 12-4. Sports coverage with CSN's own David Kaplan and Chicago Tribune writer David Haugh. The Kap and Haugh Show every morning at 9 a.m. on CSN Chicago. Yeah, it's Mother's Day tomorrow. I tell you, I love the line by Jason Hamill. Find out what article it was in, but he's basically said there aren't enough Mother's Days. There should be more, especially in the baseball life. Amen. Here's Michael Blazek.
Yeah, well, you know, on two levels, right? You know, all the support the guys got from mom when they were kids playing the game. And then their wives, if they have kids, all the heavy lifting they have to do raising the family while the players are gone all the time.
Barry Muscat's Cuts.com article. I quote, "I honestly think there's not enough Mother's Days in the year." Russell in the air to center where Parra makes a catch. There should be a day every week, especially in the baseball life. Jason added, "I love my mom to death. I'm always going to be in touch with her, and I want her to live to be 500, so I die before she does." So Jason Hamill apparently thinks he's going to live until he's about 450, which is great.
Modern technology, advances in science, medicine, could happen. Do the whole Dr. Evil thing.
Fowler 1 out of 3 with a double and a run scored. The way this game is played out really has stolen the thunder from Chris Bryant, as that'll be 2. Second double of the night. Bryant with his first career homer, and it actually gave the Cubs the lead in the 3rd inning.
Well, yeah, I had to keep looking at the scoreboard to convince myself that the Cubs were losing. That was such a big moment. The Cubs had 4 home runs last night. They've been doing so many good things at the plate. It wasn't until it was 8-4 until I finally, it sunk into me that the Cubs were losing this ball game. Here's the big moment from the Cubs' perspective. Boom. Got a breaking ball in the zone for number 1. Quite some time ago, it seems.
Back to an empty dugout, which was kind of fun. The clubhouse is about 5 feet off the dugout, so that's why everybody was able to pile into that room as he was rounding the bases. Blazek with an 0-1, the breaking ball.
Blazek was a longtime member of the Cardinals organization. To AAA with the Brewers last year. Made 17 starts and 20 relief appearances. Was 4-4 with a 4.13. All out of the pen here for the Brewers this year.
Acquired on September 1st of 2013 from the Cardinals. There's a player to be named later. John Axford. We have not found the Joker. The Penguin is here.
I like the Penguin. He was probably my favorite Batman villain in the old sitcom. Burgess Meredith.
Yeah. Cesar Romero.
Yeah, he was the Joker.
Was he the Joker?
Frank Gorshin was the Riddler. You had 2 Catwomen. Care to hazard a guess?
Julie Newmar.
That's right.
Oh,
Santa Baby.
Go ahead.
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt.
Had the real raspy voice. We got to get all our Batman trivia ready because the Mets are coming to town with the Dark Knight.
Right.
Remember when Batman and Robin used to climb up the side of the building?
Yeah.
And the celebrity would poke his head out. They had those cameo appearances.
It was very kitschy, wasn't it? Product of the time. Adam West and Burt Ward.
Get into another one here.
3-2 on Bryant.
I can't imagine the Blazek was overly concerned with extra Fowler at second base in a 12-4 ball game, but probably just wanted to reset. Reconsider his options here with Bryant. Pitcher's in a bit of a pickle here. In that you have a huge lead, so you don't want to nibble. But if he's just kind of throwing nothing breaking ball over the plate, he's likely to hit it 430 feet. Barrel man.
Yeah, that's a new mascot. They've got several here. That was their first logo. Moved here to Milwaukee. Hank the dog has his own mascot.
The mascot has a mascot.
He's panting. That means he's swing and a miss.
Number 2. Fine. Challenge him. Chris just a little late.
It's over in Pittsburgh. The Pirates beat the Cards 7-5. Side to Rizzo. White Sox dropped the first of their doubleheader 10-4 to the Reds. Johnny Cueto over Scott Carroll. White Sox leading 3-2 in the fifth in the nightcap.
Kim is making the start for the White Sox tonight. We're done.
Carlos Rodon and Jason Marquis. Rizzo hustling. He is out at first, and the inning is over. Well, stretch here in Milwaukee. Brewers lead 12-4. Transportation, or for bike riders, you can use the Cubs courtesy Bike Check, located near Clark and Addison. And for drivers, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games from 3900 North Rockwell. For details, it's Cubs.com. (12-4) Milwaukee. It's James Russell. We'll do the pitching. We've got more changes as well. Anthony Rizzo's done for the night. Matt Caesar's going to come in and play left. And Chris Coghlan will move to first. Herrera. First pitch swinging.
Uncle.
Blazek will take the bat. Our tweeters are telling us we missed Lee Merriweather.
Oh, she was. Very good tweeters.
Fouled off. This is Chris Coughlin's first action in the big leagues ever at first base. Played all 3 outfield spots. Second, third, and now first.
Well, it's twofold, right? You get Rizzo a little break, get him out of this lopsided game, and throw Coughlin out there at first base and get his feet wet at a position that ultimately he may have to, in an emergency situation, play in a meaningful game.
Yeah, he had a little action there, 5 games worth at Iowa last year.
So it's, managers that you talk about, players never taking a pitch off, never taking a play off. Same thing for managers, regardless of the score of the game. They're always thinking, all right, well, let's take advantage of this situation. It's an old Italian proverb along the lines of, since our house is burning down, we might as well warm ourselves by it. So, getting blown out here, but so Russell over there short for a little bit. Coughlin at first. Some guys a little break.
That was Blazek's first career plate appearance as he strikes out. This is the kind of game with moving parts. I'm trying not to miss any milestones. First this, first that. One strike on Segura. He has homered and scored twice. I feel like we're back in spring training mode here lately. Russell, Herrera, Coughlin. That's 2, and that's the inning. That'll take us to the 8th. Looks like he's got the right jersey on now. 12-4 Milwaukee.
Cubs don't have that many. Follow the Cubs all season long with MLB.com at bat. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Pure sugar in the form of, quote, cotton candy. Why not? You're at the ballpark. Enjoy it. Wellington Castillo. His first plate appearance came on to catch in the 6th. So tomorrow, Kyle Hendricks and Matt Garza wrap up the trip. The first takes Lind right to the bag.
That's the beautiful thing about baseball. You play pretty much every day, so you get an opportunity. Turn the page on this one in a hurry.
Brewers over shifting against Soler. By the way, I'm not stirring it up. I think the Brewers should shift or do whatever they can do to get Soler out. But these crazy unwritten rules, why would this be allowed? Shouldn't be, quote, playing straight up?
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, but I think that's, there may have been a time when people would take offense to this, but now this has become the norm.
Yeah, I don't believe in the unwritten rules. Yeah. I think you should just play the game until it's over. Right. Grounds into the shift with the shortstop pulled over even more. And Segura gets him. So in other words, well, I guess if you were down and a team shifted and he bunted against the shift, would that?
Well, I think
you're trying to pile up base runners, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you be allowed to do that?
I think you are. I think I would always argue, teams that took offense to certain plays. You handle your team over there. You do your thing. Yep. Let me do my thing. And
Caesar swings and misses. 1-1 on Matt. Brought up earlier on this road trip for his second stint in the big leagues this season. It is funny that the most controversy, tensions kind of rise when the games are blowouts. That seems backwards. People get that upset when the game doesn't.
Right, because at some point in the game, in the history of the game, it's been about saving face. You're getting blown out, so the other team takes the foot off the pedal, doesn't take extra bases, just play station to station baseball, doesn't steal bases, and that makes sense to me. I think that's the correct way to do it. The problem is, where is that line? Where is that cutoff line? When is it a blowout? When is it not a blowout? And that's where tensions fly. And during the steroid era, when runs, scoreboards were blowing up, people were, getting mad at people and throwing at people because somebody stole a base in the 7th inning of a 5-run ball game. I'm thinking, no, man,
right, this game isn't over
yet.
Strike 3 called. Blazek, a couple of scoreless innings here late, and it's 12-4 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Yeah, it's David Ross and a strike call and a fastball. It didn't even register on the gun.
No,
71.
He's got a one-pitch mix. He's got a fastball, comes in there about 72 miles an hour. Oh, 73.
Now, I got to tell you, I love this, and here's why. I don't think managers do this often enough, where they use relief pitchers in blowouts. The relievers they may need the next day. And here's kind of the interesting twist on this, JD. This is the first time David's ever pitched in the majors or the minors. Fowler in center. Ross's first career home run came off Mark Grace. So this is kind of near and dear to his heart, I guess, in a way.
So he's owed one, is what
he's
you're
paying
saying.
It forward.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I guarantee he looked calm and cool out there, but there's little extra butterflies for guys who've been around the game a long time. So I'm doing something completely foreign. But this kind of goes to my other point last thing about managers taking advantage of a bad situation. Now he's having a little fun. I mean, obviously it saves the bullpen. That's the primary thing he's doing. But everybody's up on the front rail of the Cubs dugout there. They're yucking it up, having some fun watching Ross pitch here.
And I don't want to hear from anybody on Twitter who bashed me for saying the NL should have the DH. Because they want to see pitchers hit. Okay, well, now we're seeing a position player pitch. So it goes both ways, people.
He's at some point, he got a little big zone working. Masquerade and Union. Tom Hallion going to hook him up. Take care of his boy. A little change up. Got him out in front. Look at Welly. Welly's pumping his fist back there.
Are we sure he's not throwing a knuckleball?
Maybe. Might have been what he tried that last one. Which team is winning?
That's a great question. Ground ball to third, dropped by Bryant. And he recovers in time to get Jeanette.
Joe. David Ross has a 1-2-3 inning. He's going to walk up to every pitcher who worked in this game, every relief pitcher at least, for the Cubs to go, dude, it's not that hard.
Well, if you're wondering, the last position player to pitch for the Cubs, it was John Baker, and he got the win last year. Ground ball. Herrera gets Lim. David Ross pointing at his second baseman. His ERA is
beautiful.
0. (12-4). T-Mobile game changer. Well, it didn't really change the game, but at least something to laugh about. Laugh or cry, right? On a night like this. The two highlights, yeah. Chris Bryant's first career homer and David Ross's first career appearance on the mound.
Got the ball, playing a little catch with himself coming off the field. Gotta laugh, gotta have fun, because we all know there's no crying in baseball.
So, ninth inning. And it's an ex-Cub on the mound, Neil Kotz. Nice comeback story for Neil. He battled all kinds of health issues. Chris Coghlan greets him with a long, deep drive that's run down by Morrow. The next telecast of Cubs baseball here on CSN. Monday night, back home at beautiful Wrigley Field, the New York Mets come to town. Our coverage starts at 7 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Kotz missed 2010, 2011 after Tommy John surgery and 4 different hip operations. Came back with Texas. Got back to the big leagues for the first time in 2013. Last year made 73 appearances. Illinois native, Lebanon, and still lives in Chicago.
Broke in with the White Sox in 2003. With the Cubs in 2007, 8, and 9, parts of those 3 seasons.
Those were good times for the Cubs under Lou Piniella. Strike 3. Yeah, you mentioned the adrenaline. I think David Ross still has a lot of it in that scoreless inning.
Russell singled and scored way back in the 3rd, so he's kept his hitting streak alive. Chris Bryant, first big league home run. Those are the highlights. That and David Ross's pitching appearance.
Right field, and it's caught to end the ball game. Herrera makes a catch, and that'll set up the rubber match tomorrow. 12 for the final. Another big night for Chris Davis, Vinny's Beverage Depot toast of the game. He's had a huge series. And Chris Bryant with a 3-run homer, again overshadowed by the result, but good to see him get that first one.
Yeah, pretty swing of the bat on a breaking ball. One of what will be surely many big league home runs. Got the silent treatment from the boys. They'll headed up the tunnel. And he's just going to run them down. Great moment for Chris Bryant.
So that will wrap up our coverage from the ballpark. Final score, the Brewers 12 and the Cubs 4. We're back with you Monday on CSN at 7 o'clock. As the Cubs welcome in the New York Mets. And now for JD and our entire crew, Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned. We've got Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live next.